So your new RS has just been delivered. You're trying to figure out, do I PPF? Do I ceramic coat? Do I do both? So we're here today to talk to some experts to help demystify that for you. Stay tuned. I appreciate that, and especially the fact that when you say everybody's unique and different, right? You know, and what you do for that customer, it's not a cookie cutter. Everybody comes in, oh, he's getting service 1, he gets service 2, he gets service 3. It's like you said, what do you want? What's your intention with the car? How long are you planning on keeping it? You driving it on the street? Is you parking it in the garage? And just, you know, it's in a part of a collection, right? And to determine what the levels are. I mean, I think that's really helpful. You know, with regard to the films, I think, and who was it? Is it S-Tech? How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, S-Tech is a film that we've literally used everything.
Okay.
And we're constantly evaluating, and Dan can speak to this. I mean, we get samples
all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of information out there, and I even heard in your kind of description of paint protection film, Mayor, about some confusion there too. It's, you know, all major paint protection films on the market today are self-healing. All carry relatively, for the most part, a 10-year warranty. There's some that's a 7-year, but 10-year warranty. They're all self-healing. They all have top coats. They're all chemically resistant. They're all relatively, especially at the top 3 or top 4 leading, you know, paint protection films, SunTech, S-Tech, XPEL, Lumar. They're all relatively the same flatness within a variation, within a region. So when you take that, they're all the same raw material as well. They're buying the raw material from the same place. There's very little difference between the major players in the film industry. S-Tech has some competitive advantages with the new technology that they're putting into film. They're doing some really cool fashion films, and they have the flattest, most beautiful film there is. XPEL has scale, which offers a tremendous amount to installers, business owners, and the end consumer. With that scale, they have endless of fabulous patterns for cars that make paint protection film look amazing for and accessible to a large number of people in the United States and around the world. But, you know, getting to Zach's point, I'll kind of circle back around. At the end of the day, they're very similar. They're very similar products, and we have conversations all the time about, well, I really want SunTech on the car, or I really want XPEL on the car. SunTech today is very different than SunTech 6 months ago, and XPEL today is going to be very different than 6 months ago. It's an ever-changing, ever-evolving landscape within this product offering. So going back to Zach's point, doubling down on Zach's point, it's you can pick something because you have brand loyalty. You buy Kleenex, you buy Puffs.
Right.
Fabulous. But really focus on who you're doing business with, what kind of service they provide. Can you build a relationship with them, and look at their work? That's what's really important. That's the only thing that's important.
That right there was gold. So thank you for that. I mean, that explanation I thought was like really helpful, because I think folks just get hung up. Like you said, they may have some brand loyalty. I think they just get hung up on some of the things. So that clarity, I mean, that was great, Dan. Thank you. You did touch on something, and this is just one piece I want to touch on a little bit. We saw some pictures earlier in the gallery of some of the cars with like matte finishes and like a carbon fiber look. So film manufacturers now are starting to introduce different types of film as well, right? So you could change the look of the car a little bit. So is this something I think you guys are working with as well on some of those different finishes?
Oh yeah, I mean, we do tons of satin film installations. Some of the cars we looked at had satin paint from the factory. Others had gloss paint that we had installed satin film for that look.
And your recommendation, sorry to interrupt, your recommendation is go with the gloss paint and the satin film, I think, is because satin paint just presents a whole nother set of
exactly. That's what we would do ourselves. I mean, all of us, I think we would choose a gloss painted car and put satin film on it. You get the same look, you get all the same protection. However, a gloss painted car is easier to match. If it gets scratched in any way, you can polish it. Can't polish satin paint.
Right.
And to match that paint from one panel to the next, very difficult, nearly impossible. Best body shops in America, they're still going to have trouble.
That's a good piece of information there.
So yeah, if you want the satin look, wrap it with satin film.
Yeah, and the other cool thing that you can do with it is you can add accents. So if you want to kind of customize your car, we've done everything from we had just a base Carrera that we wrapped in clear, but we did satin paint protection film stripes. So the regular color still comes through. It's just satin. Or on my 991.2 Turbo S that I had, it was jet black metallic, and we put satin paint protection film just on the hood to give it like a GT2 RS kind of look. So you can change up a lot of things with the different films. You've got carbon fiber finishes, you've got colors that you can go with. Somebody wants to do a blackout on a roof, you've got gloss black paint protection film. If you compare that to vinyl, vinyl has a very textured look and there's no clarity to it whatsoever. But if you go with a gloss black paint protection film, it looks like it's painted black and you get protection in it that you don't get with a vinyl wrap. So there's a lot of different ways you can work with paint protection film to not only get the protection, you're protecting resale value, the peace of mind when you're driving it and not having to worry about it. Plus, you can do some customizing to kind of make it your own as well.
I didn't even know about the different colors per se on the paint protection film, because I have seen video. You watch video on YouTube where folks are doing the vinyl wrap, and I know vinyl has like the application process is like different. The way it sticks and stuff like that versus. And you have to have a really good installer if you're just doing a wrap on the car. But I like this idea of, like you say, the blackout of the roof, or even doing the carbon fiber. Like at one point I was like, ooh, geez, do I do, because I have the black carbon. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, but am I going to be a poser trying to look like a Visoc package if I do, if I do the carbon fiber? But it's one of the things, like with the black car, carbon fiber can actually look kind of cool on some of the parts of the car. Like on the wing or something like that. That's maybe not over the top, you could do that.
We discovered that, I don't know how many years back, we were seeing new Porsches come in. What happens is anytime you have that film, if it's not completely flat on the surface, let's say it's kind of bunched up a little bit, in that area, you would be left with, it's almost like the paint swelling in there. It leaves kind of a tattoo of where the information was. And we heard the same thing, and we looked at some of the technical bulletins on it, and you leave it out in the sun for a while to go away. We had infrared lamps here that we tried that on, and it doesn't really work, and polishing even at a very high level doesn't always take it away. Now, we haven't been seeing as many problems with that lately as what we had before, but that is more of a combination of that fresh paint that they just painted and putting that material on it. And then you have to weigh the difference. Okay, what's worse, the car sitting in shipyards and everything else that goes through by the time it gets to the dealership, and any issues that may come with the paint, or having something like that happen. As that paint continues to cure, that's not a problem. I can't think of one time where we have removed paint protection film from a Porsche where we have seen that. It's only been on the brand new vehicles coming from the factory with that white protective material on it. And we saw some cars that were pretty rough, quite frankly, when you look at it. And others, you can just barely detect something here and there. But like I said, I haven't seen nearly as much of that lately as we did. Like if you look back a couple of years ago, there was a lot of problems.
My yellow car.
Your yellow car,
yeah,
I remember.
I remember.
My yellow car had it. I had the worm, kind of hole marks on there, and like we were doing the infrared and whatnot. I mean, once the film was on there, it kind of went away a little bit, but that yellow, the 991.2, the GT3 was pretty bad.
So when we talk about soft paint versus hard paint, softer paints are generally going to be a little easier to scratch. Examples of that would be any non-metallic black Porsche. Really soft paint. For whatever reason, that's just the way that it is. Super hard paints, really any American, most American, Audis and Mercedes are pretty hard depending on the color. So that's what we mean. So they're easier to scratch, or maybe they're a little less susceptible to scratching. And then also, from our perspective, when we're polishing paint, softer paints are generally going to be easier to correct. Harder paints are going to require heavier compounding to get the same amount of correction.
Got it.
So
that
really,
makes sense. I was just going to ask that question. Thank you for answering. Yeah.
And it can vary from one color to the next within a manufacturer, because they could use 3 or 4 different formulations of clear coat based on the color coat that's going down with it. So you're not going to take a GT3 and all colors are going to react the same. You're going to have different softness and hardness levels on them. But as it relates to paint protection film, it makes no difference. You know, if you get a black Porsche and you're going to be driving it a bit and you want a nice car, that is a perfect candidate for a full wrap, because otherwise it's going to drive you absolutely crazy, because your chances of marring the finish or scratching the finish are exponentially higher. So if you like washing your car every week and you have the pride of ownership that you want to have a really nice looking car, you're going to get a black Porsche and you're going to drive it, that's about the time the 3 of us would recommend you might want to look at fully wrapped.
And that's what we did. You know, this time, you know, the yellow car, I didn't do it at all, as I said earlier, but the black car, because I know it's black. I've had a black GT3 in the past, right? And I'm aware of, you know, the ability, you know, right, getting it scratched. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm going all in, just wrap every painted surface. And we even did, I know there was some debate about the headlights, but I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I'm not worried about the delamination. I know some folks, you know, I was like, no, just do the headlights.
It's just a huge peace of mind.
Just do the whole darn thing.
If it's all
now
done,
it's easy. When
you
I
never
wash
think about
it
it again.
and you know, and I'm washing it and whatnot, I don't like, I'm not worried about it.
Well, that and you know, when you're driving it, you're not worried about it. It's a completely mindset shift when you have paint protection film, or you go to car events. You can put 10 do not touch signs up on the car, and you know people are going to want to still rub their hands on it. When you have paint protection film, you don't worry about that nearly as much as without it, particularly when you're on black. And if I may transition this into a discussion about coatings.
Yes.
One of the big misconceptions about ceramic coatings is hardness level or scratch resistance. And I'm here to tell you that it does not matter. I don't care what you're going to put on those cars. Coatings are not there to provide scratch resistance. The hardness that they hype up and talk about does not matter. You can still take a clean finger on a clean surface, barely go across it, and you're going to mar the finish on it. That coating is there to look good for a long period of time, whereas a wax or sealant looks will drop way off. It's there to provide, you know, durability. You know, it's going to be there for a couple of years, and the self-cleaning aspect. But if you're thinking about having a coating and you're wanting it done for scratch resistance or hardness,
no,
you're listening to the wrong person. That's what paint protection film is for. Coating is not there to provide that kind of protection.
And just to talk about the relativity there, the most you're going to get out of a coating is probably, what, 3 to 5 microns?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that'd be a lot. That's 1/1000th of a millimeter, right? 1 micron. Whereas paint protection film is 8 mils thick.
Yeah, so that's like, that would be like this versus just a
exactly,
you know,
exactly. Yeah. So when we talk about relativity, that's what you need to think of. Don't get sold by marketing hype, to Todd's point.
Yep.
Think about things rationally. Does it make rational sense that I should put coating on my car and it's going to do the same as paint protection film?
It's not
which
like
is
a
1,000 times
polyurethane. I'm not, you know, putting some coat of polyurethane on my car.
Exactly.
That's going to provide. Oh yeah, now it's good. Yeah. You know, it's going to the rock will throw rock at it, and it's great.
Yeah.
I like, you know, earlier you said is you want to make it easy washing your car and cleaning it, and you know, it does make a huge difference. I think you know, having the coatings on the car, and like you said, depending on how many applications, you know, you can get like an 18 months, a 2-year. You know, we did my car. I think we did a couple of coatings, and we even did the wheels and the brake calipers. I happen to have ceramic brakes on the car, so it's not a huge issue. But on the GT3, it was the iron brakes, and I just know Porsches just generate a ton of brake dust.
Yep.
So I was like, yes, please ceramic coat the wheels, please ceramic coat the calipers, because it'll just make the cleaning process easier.
Even when you do have the ceramic brakes, if you're somebody who likes to go do track days, you know how rubber and stuff like that
yes, it
gets
comes
built
off
up
real
on
easy.
it comes off super easy.
Yes.
I mean, a track person myself, and the ability to come back after a track day, the combination of having film, having coatings on top of that, coatings on the wheels and calipers, everything cleans up much, much easier.
Oh yeah, get those rubber scuff marks off and stuff like that. It
A
does.
small investment. If someone wants to dabble in coatings, coat your wheels. Just start there. That will prove to you that they have legitimate worth. It is just a game changer.
Yeah.
Once you have that done, you'll never
Oh
not
yeah,
do it
no,
again.
I love it. It just
Yeah.
like you said, it just makes it easy there.
If you've been doing a ton of Smokies runs and you've got a lot of debris in the front bumper and your hood and your rear quarter panels, then you might think about just replacing those pieces. And let's say Andy's car was fully wrapped in film. You don't need to rewrap the whole car. Just rewrap those areas that have taken a lot of peppering and you want to replace because they become unsightly. You don't have to rewrap the whole car. And I think, again, it goes back to go to that trusted individual and get their opinion on what should I do? What's the best bang for my buck? You don't need to replace the whole of the entire full wrap. It could be just the front bumper and your mirror caps, for example, and the rear quarter panels.
So you do the maintenance, I'll call that maintenance rewrap here as well. I
Absolutely.
mean, for folks that are like, hey, my car's gotten beat up at track, want to hit up the bumper and the hood or something.
We've got a car right now, great example. We've got a 458 Italia right now on the other side of the wall. And the car had film from when it was brand new, which is, I think it was a 2015 458. And just in that amount of time, film technology has become a lot better. It's more clear and less textured and so on and so forth. So right off the bat, you can make that better. We removed the original film. We're polishing the paint. It didn't have a full wrap. It had less than a full wrap. So we're polishing the paint to make it look its best. And we're putting new film on, which we're going to install in a better way so it looks better. And then we're going to coat it after that. So a lot of people that we do this with, they bought a car that's 5 or 10 years old and they want it brought back to as good as they can possibly make it. So we start from scratch and then we protect it like it's a brand new car after that, and then they can go and enjoy it after that.
Yeah, I mean, you had one of the first Honda Accords. I know you have a relationship with Honda or something. Didn't you have a car in here once, like a 84 Honda with 25 miles on it or something?
Yeah.
For the museum, you did some work there?
We do a lot with Honda. Honda, their R&D headquarters and the manufacturing headquarters is 45 minutes away. So we get some fun special projects. It was one of the very first Accords. The very first Accord is in Japan at Honda's worldwide headquarters.
Okay.
We had, I think, one of the first 100. And they're all built here 45 minutes away. So we had one that they had pulled right from the beginning. We also had a very early Civic as well, just time capsules. So yes, we can do that as well.
Because I was here the one time and the car was here and he's like, check this out. It was like, I don't know, like an 84 and it was like brand new. I mean, the headlights were super clear, the interior, I mean, I was like, I never saw like a museum piece.
Well, the crazy thing is we're used to seeing amazing cars come here. When those cars came in on flatbed, it was like the whole company stopped, go out to take a look at these old Hondas that were coming in.
Yeah, one thing to talk about is we really focus on relationships. The cars are going to come and go, as we mentioned. We're not picky on cars. We will literally take care of everything from, we have an Accord someone shipped up from Alabama. We're doing a full wrap on. Guys,
$27,000 Accord.
Yeah. Guys just super particular about it, and we're happy to take care of him. On the other end of it, $4 million Pagani that was 3 years in the making, maybe more.
Yeah.
And anything in between. We are truly just trying to do the best work possible.
And that's awesome. I mean, I think that's, you guys are unique. I've had great experience with them, and Zach, you and I have worked together, kind of go through the graphics and the application of the graphics and all that kind of stuff. And, you guys make suggestions and recommendations because I didn't know exactly what I needed to do or what I wanted to do. So being able to have some experts, tell me, or help me, I shouldn't say tell me, like, hey, here's some of the stuff you do. And then within your budget, right? How much are what's the investment you want to make and how long you keep in the car? I think those are all great things. And I love watching you work. I mean, you're like an artist with a canvas and a brush, I know you said like the technique, some things are similar, the car is different, but when I see the videos and the detailing, the detail at which you're putting the film on the car and whatnot, it's a piece of art. I like watching that. And Todd, I know you have the academy and stuff as well, where you guys are teaching other folks how to do this well and how to do this appropriate. So
it's been fun watching the ride of the business and how people perceive the business over the years or throughout those years. We all put a tremendous amount of hard work and pride into everything that we do, and it pays back. We get students that years later will come to us and thank us for helping them. Now they've started a great business and they're doing well. I mean, we've trained students from a dozen countries from around the world over the years. Customers over the years. We love building the long-term relationships. It is fun.
Yeah,
it's fun watching it.
Yeah, it's got to be back. Like some of the unique experiences, like somebody, another new car, right? We were talking earlier about the 765 LT, the McLaren. It's like, all right, well, at some point, I'm sure a 765 is going to show up. So I guess whenever anything comes out, you guys are like, oh, hey, we may be seeing that one soon. Yeah. So, you get to see a lot of the neat toys, on some of the new cars that are coming out. Because your clients, I mean, you're pulling in from, I imagine all around the country, everywhere. I mean, there's actually a big car culture here in the Columbus area that always surprised me. But there's a pretty amazing car culture here. But then again, you guys, your reputation is known, so people are shipping their cars in from all over. So if you guys are ever in the Columbus, New Albany, Ohio area, I definitely suggest you pop in at Esoteric Detail. It's esotericdetailing.com or
esotericdetail.com, and then you can find us on social media at Esoteric Detail on pretty much every platform.
Yeah, you need to come by and check out their place. Let me catch them one time. Maybe they'll kind of give you a little tour back here, and then you can pick up some products as well that you're here. So Dan, Todd, Zach, thank you so much. I appreciate making the time. I know you've had a long day. I'm coming up at the end of the day. Hey, what are you guys doing at the end of the day? Well, we'd really like to go home. It's like, well, hey, you don't want to talk to me for, an hour or more? All right, everybody. Hey, thanks a lot. Again, if you like the content that we're bringing you, please click subscribe, hit the notification bell, like the video. We'll bring some more stuff to you here, and we'll continue the journey. Take care, everybody.